Rip the Queen, man. Rip the Queen, man.
Oi, bruv. Welcome to History with Zag, a channel where one can come to explore the grand stories of events, places, and people of the past. I'm your host, Zag, and as always, I appreciate you watching. Behind me right now is Buckingham Palace. We made it to London, England. And if you haven't known by the title, this is going to be our Halloween episode. So we're going to check out Jack the Ripper and all the stuff that he's done. And right now, we are going to dive into that segment. All right, we made it to the Jack the Ripper Museum in Whitechapel. We're going to go inside and learn a little about Jack the Ripper. All right, so we're on the first floor of the museum, and this takes place September 30th, 1888. We're in Melcher Square, and behind me is a reenactment of wax figures of the death of Catherine Eddowes. And so this is the second woman to die from Jack the Ripper, and at the time they thought it was a Jew, and they called him the Leather Apron. Supposedly witnesses said he was wearing a leather apron, and very scary figure. But I really like this room because it really just throws you right in the middle of what Melcher Square would look like. You got the oil lamps, you've got the cart that the bodies would have been hauled away on over here, and the graffiti on the walls, and some of the police notices. So it's a very eerie room to be a part of. The wax figures don't help with that, but yeah. All right, I'm on the second floor of the museum, and we are in Jack the Ripper's office. So right here we got his desk and some newspaper clippings and books about dissection and human anatomy. And what else do we got over here? Over here, we have the replica of the kidney that he sent to the police commissioner. So he was very brutal with his tactics. You got like the bloody knife over there. On the wall, we have some of the newspaper depictions of the murders. And so the basis of this floor is to basically ask, who was Jack the Ripper? Was he an artist? Was he a surgeon? Was he a barber? Who was he? And they have a couple of ideas of people that he might have been, but at the end of the day, we still do not know. On the third floor, we're at the police station. So we got a lot of really cool stuff going on right here. If you follow me over here, here's some of the suspects for Jack the Ripper. We got Montague Druid, John Druid. We've got Michael Austry. We've got Walter Sickert. But the more interesting one that's caught a lot of people's attention is Prince Albert Victor. He was Queen Victoria's son. And so the theory is that because he was under British royalty, they couldn't do anything about it, and that's why he got away. But as mentioned on the second floor, we still don't know who he is. So all these are still theories, and we don't know for 100% fact. But over here, we have some of the victims. So we've got Emma Smith, Martha Tabsam, Annie Mae Chapman, that's a big one. Elizabeth Stride, that was the victim that we saw in the first floor. So there's 5 canonical killings, but this shows around 7. So it just shows a lot about what we see of Jack the Ripper. But if you come over here, I'll show you one more thing. The policeman that found the body on the first floor, all of his stuff is actually in this case. So his mallet, his handcuffs, the whistle, it's all right here. So these are archaeological proof of some of the people that were there during that time. So very interesting spot. All right. So one more thing before we leave this room. We have the From Hell letter written by Jack the Ripper. So I'm going to read it for you, and it's pretty interesting. From Hell. Mr. Lusk, sir, I send you half the kidney I took from one woman and preserved it for you, together to the other piece. I fried it and ate it. It was very nice. I may send you the bloody knife that took it out if you only wait a while longer. Signed, Catch Me When You Can, Mr. Lusk. So, pretty interesting. All right. So this is the 4th floor. We're at the top of the building now, and this is what the victim's room would have looked like. They were in destitution. It was big poverty, big time poverty. And these are where all the girls came from. Whitechapel, where Jack the Ripper was committing these crimes, was a really poor part of town. There was a lot of immigrants that were unable to find jobs, and a lot of people just depended on going to the pubs every day and getting blackout drunk. So whatever you think of that, that's fine. But here is some of the people that were killed on the wall. So I named some of them below, but Catherine Eddowes would have lived somewhere like this. Elizabeth Stride is a big name. Marianne Nichols and Mary Jane Kelly. And then over here we have Annie Mary Chapman. So it's pretty eerie looking at something like this, seeing where they would have lived on the straw beds. But one more piece of information I do want to point out is this music that you're hearing. This song is actually called A Violet Plucked from the Mother's Grave, and it was sung by Mary Kelly the night of her murder. So it's just a very eerie room to be in, and makes you sad for the victims, truly. Okay, so we've reached the final floor of the museum, and it's a little humbling. It's on the walls here, you've got the pictures of the victims and their cause of death, their autopsy report, and we're actually in the mortuary part. So this is where they would have been. Yeah, they would have got the autopsy, and the body would have been put up right here. So it's a little surreal, it's a little scary, and it really puts things in perspective that Jack the Ripper was an evil, evil man.
Looks beautiful.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Hello, History with Zach viewers. I'm the camera guy. I'm behind the scenes, but today we're gonna be trying the Alert Tropical Blast. We were given these free at Brick Lane, so it's a London specialty, I guess. But cheers. Ooh, it's bubbly. It's good. Fire. 9 out of 10.
While I might not have done the situation justice due to my lack of research before visiting the museum, Jack the Ripper was a terrible serial killer that shocked the world back in the 19th century. The police force of Britain, while they tried, was unequipped to handle such a heinous yet smart killer. He teased the police by sending body parts of the victims to their precinct, he wrote them letters, and the biggest reason being that he was never caught. What makes this story so scary was that after almost 150 years, we are still no closer to figuring out who he was than back then. Based on his precise cuts, was he a surgeon? Since he was never caught, was he connected to British royalty? Was his bad handwriting the sign of an uneducated butcher? Would his unique form of killing be the sign of a deranged artist? We could possibly even begin to wonder that his letter was truth, and that he was truly from hell. We may never know, and that is why the story of Jack the Ripper is still haunting to this day. If you ever got London on the track, I would highly recommend visiting the Jack the Ripper Museum, or better yet, going on a Jack the Ripper tour. It was a great time and a perfect destination to visit during the spooky season. Hello again. It's good to see you guys. I just got back from London. We are in Rome now. I'm back at my place of stay. Me and Michael had a crazy trip and we're both dog tired. So I hope you guys enjoyed the trip. We saw everything, you know. We had bangers and mash and fish and chips. We had the famous Indian London curry. We saw the Tower of London, the base of the Sky Gardens. We didn't go inside. Went to the British Museum. We went to the National Gallery and saw some amazing pictures and paintings. And, you know, everything I wanted to do, I felt like I did. So we had an amazing time. You should definitely go across the pond and check that out. And yeah, so we had a great trip. I wanted to say thanks to you guys. The Venice video that we did got over 150 views. That's the most I've ever gotten. Thank you so much. Let's keep it going. And I got over 6 subscribers since the last video. So share it to your friends or family. Maybe they can learn a little bit more about the history of the world. So again, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the coming videos. I'm gonna do some about maybe Italy or even abroad in Europe. So I love you guys, and stay tuned for the next video.
Don't talk about the Queen, bruv. She was me mother.